شيء أهلا وسهلا فيكم جميعاً. أنا سعيدة جداً بوجودي معكم اليوم عشان أحكي لكم على Global Institute of Certified Management Consultants. أنا اسمي تمارا عبد-الجابر، التشير للإنستيتيوت من عمان، وبيس بعمان actually. أنا ممبر بالإنستيتيوت تبع الأردن من بديش أحكي لكم قبل كم من سنة. I've been a CMC for at least 12 years. من أكم من سنة ساعدت بتأسيس Global Institute للمانجمنت Consultants أو Certified Management Consultants. I served on the board, supported different roles بالانستيتيوت، وبعديها صورة التشير. قرب يخلص الترم تبعي unfortunately، بس رح أكون موجودة معكم إن شاء الله كباست شير أتعرف عليكم أكثر وأساعدكم. My colleague Pamela Campagna just joined us. Pamela is the chair of our marketing committee. I'll just finish introducing myself in a couple of minutes and then leave it to Pamela to introduce herself. So I've started in management consulting 20 years ago. I've had my own consulting practice where I focused on strategy execution and business transformation. I worked in several countries of the region based out of our office in Amman. We had offices in Dubai and Jeddah. And unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to work in Egypt that much. I worked on a couple of projects only, but Egypt is a country that's very close to my heart. And at least I get to visit there for pleasure every now and then. So I'm truly happy and honored to be with you here today. Pamela, over to you.
You're most welcome, Tamara.
Thank you. Allah يخليك.
So good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm Pamela Campagna, and apologies for being late. One of my current roles is I'm a professor at the Hult International Business School here in the United States, and I just walked out of a classroom of students who are learning how to be consultants. So I was teaching a class on consulting excellence, and I come to this meeting as the chair of the marketing committee. I've been involved with CMC Global Institute since early on. In 2014, I believe, I started working on the marketing committee as we've been building up the CMC brand in a number of different countries. My background is I have an MBA in international business, and in 1997 I started my own consulting firm following a dozen or so years working with technology-based companies to help them with their strategy, their sales, their marketing, as well as the resource development. So the combination of developing processes and people along with businesses and business models. So I'm very pleased to be here. I'm honored to share the stage with my colleague Tamara and to talk to you about your interests and challenges in consulting in the region and how this global community could help to be a part of your efforts. So thank you.
Welcome, Pamela.
Thanks, Pam. So we are sharing this event or webinar or bringing this event to you together with AB Associates, who have recently become our ambassador for the Global Institute in Egypt. So we're happy with this partnership, and we look forward to be supporting you and working with you very closely in the very near future. So for you to understand what our organization looks like, I start by telling you a bit about ICMCI, which stands for the International Council of Management Consulting Institutes. A long time ago, management consultants came together and decided that there is a need to organize the management consulting profession globally. And hence they established ICMCI as a virtual body that supports management consultants in different countries. Out of ICMCI, local or national consulting institutes were established. In the region, unfortunately, there are only a few. There's one in Jordan that was established in 1997. There's one in Palestine that was established a couple of years ago. There's one under establishment in Lebanon. And we're hoping that together with you, we'll be establishing one in Egypt. So there are 50 IMCs or national institutes around the globe. And those institutes are looking after the certification, the support, and the development of management consultants in their respective geographies. A few years ago, ICMCI realized that in order to truly support management consultants across the globe, we need to have a more or a bigger geographical coverage. And hence the Global Institute was established as the entity that is supporting management consultants in all countries where there are no local or national institutes, in the hope that we will be working together with consultants in those countries to help them build and develop their national institute. So we're hoping, we have a few certified management consultants in Egypt already. Ahmed Badr, who's the CEO or managing director at AB Associates, is one of them. And we're hoping that once we have a critical number of certified management consultants or CMCs in Egypt, we can work together to help you build a national institute so that you can, on your own, take on the certification and development of management consultants in a very important market like Egypt. So our mandate is to support management consultants in all the countries where there are no existing national institutes, so the white spaces on the map. And these are a lot of countries. So it's physically impossible for anyone to be supporting those, a single entity to be supporting management consultants in all those geographies. And that's why we're happy to be working with ambassadors that represent us and support us in those countries in order for us to bring our services that we'll talk about soon to management consultants in those countries. So when it comes to our mission at the Global Institute, our mission is to elevate the standards of management consulting in the countries that we are supporting, those countries that do not have a national institute, to give assurance to the international community that the CMCs that we certify are serving their clients with world-class competency and professionalism, to support the work of ICMCI in developing national institutes in countries where we operate and support, to encourage knowledge sharing, information sharing, and networking between consultants in the different countries, and making sure that those consultants are working with a similar level of ethics, using the same code of conduct that helps them make sure that they are at the same level or a similar level of professionalism. And of course, to provide services and access to services to our members, we provide a lot of professional development services, recertification, our members exchange business opportunities among them, mentoring, coaching, helping with the certification process itself, and sharing best practice among the members. When it comes to our strategic objectives, our focus is to create and establish value for the CMC designation globally. There are close to 10,000 CMCs around the world. On the ICMCI website, they've created sort of a repository of those CMCs, so you can subscribe and become part of that database. And this allows us to access CMCs from other geographies, CMCs who are experts in different fields, and share opportunities, collaborate on projects, and offer better service to our customers. When we estimated the size of the consulting market in all those white spaces, we estimate that there are more than 300,000 management consultants in those countries. We decided that we want to capture 3,500 of those over the 10-year period. We are providing activities into new countries, like the ambassador program, like today's event, in order for us to develop the management consulting profession in those countries. We are part and trying to develop a global network of professional consultants and focusing on building an effective and efficient association for our consultants. We are focusing a lot and putting a lot of effort to engage our current, our existing and future members. So even potential members, we're trying to give them as much attention as possible so that they start feeling the benefits of belonging to this community very early on. We provide networking and collaboration opportunities, connection to other IMCs, because if a management consultant is, for instance, moving to another country, then that consultant would want to connect to the institute in that country. We help facilitate such relationships. We help build on the knowledge that is being developed in other countries and share best practice so that we can expand and grow the profession globally. And of course, we are assessed by ICMCI to make sure that our processes, our certification process in particular, is constantly improved, it's up to standard, and that we are providing the best service possible to our members and our clients. We're also looking at empowering mainly our members through professional development, providing insights into consulting trends, ensuring that our members are able to help in the governance of the Global Institute. So we hold hands of our members so that they become members of committees within the Global Institute and later on become directors on the board of the Global Institute, because this is a member-based organization and we want to make sure that the members govern the organization very soon. We've already started that. A few of our board members are members who joined us a couple of years ago and developed through their volunteer work to serve on the board. And of course, we want to contribute to the global management consulting industry through standards, through compliance, through collaborations. One thing that's worth mentioning is that ICMCI, as a global organization and as an umbrella organization for the different consulting institutes, has standardized or started offering certain services that I believe will be of interest to all of you. For instance, they issue a monthly newsletter where members share knowledge and opportunities. They're working on developing a book on management consulting practices and success stories. A couple of years ago, we developed what we call the National Consulting Index, NCI. This is an index that we update annually, and it allows us to estimate the size of and the development of management consulting markets in different countries. So it's a very interesting publication that we've just released actually with a COVID update. And in it, we captured the impressions that the different IMCs have of their consulting markets in a post-COVID world. ICMCI has designated the second Thursday of every June to celebrate the International Consultants Day. So this is a day where we all get together virtually for now to celebrate our successes, the developments of our profession, and contribute as much as we can. There are a lot of things that as a group, as a community, we are doing to move forward with the management consulting profession that you will get introduced to over time. We're trying to share here as much as possible, but I don't want to overwhelm you. Pamela, anything that you'd like to add here?
No, I think you did. I think you did a great job. Thank you, Tamara.
But I think we're moving over to you. I'm having, yeah.
Okay, right. Can you make me a co-host?
Of course, I'll do that.
Please. And while Tamara is making me co-host, we will have a few moments to hear from everyone and get an idea of who we have on the call. So our hope is that we have this as a two-way conversation and not necessarily a lecture. So, but continuing on, as Tamara mentioned, within CMC GI, we work together really to form a community. And so our members within the Global Institute hail from, I believe, 10 or 12 different countries where there are no IMCs currently. So when you think about a community, of course, there are different models that we're familiar with in the accounting profession or the finance profession or in project management. And so here, our Global Institute is really based upon building community with those of us who are global consultants or with specializations in particular regions. And so focusing on our practices, on our individual practices, on building our businesses, on developing the competency framework that we'll talk about in a minute. It could be in a particular functional area, for example, but how can we support each other and how can the Institute support you as you build and sustain your practice? Looking at excellence and achievement, one of the most important elements of the CMC Global Institute, in fact, is the certification. I'll talk about that in just a moment. However, there are two different pathways. Some of our members determine that the time may not be right for them to pursue certification. So we also see a generation of consultants coming into the Global Institute as members who are just finishing university and exploring consulting perhaps as a profession, or those who are internal consultants who are exploring the move to become an external consultant. So really our mission is to support and enhance and help the members develop in that search for excellence. And then the achievement piece, of course, can be pursuing the CMC designation. And so the CMC designation, let's see, are you driving or am I driving? You're driving.
I'm driving this time.
You're driving, okay. And actually, I would like to, before I talk about CMC certification, just would like to make a comment about something that Tamara mentioned regarding building relationships and referring business. Tamara and I have worked together now on the Global Institute for 7 years. We have never met in person. I do consider her a colleague, and we have worked together on different business projects. And so, again, we are a great example of the types of business relationships and connections that can come out of the Global Institute, not only because we serve on the same board, but because our business interests are complementary. I've looked to people within the Institute when I've searched for specific expertise. I was looking for someone who is an expert in franchising, and Yusuf Khalil, he is one of our members, and he has a lot of experience in franchising. And I consulted with him, brought him into some consulting work I was doing. So I just wanted to share some of those examples as well.
And one thing to add here before we get into the certification, thanks, Pamela. I'm hoping that we can change the fact that we haven't met in person very soon.
Yes.
We're planning to bring Pamela to Jordan to deliver a wonderful program to SMEs in the country. So yeah, talk about partnerships.
Yes.
I think that, of course, it's always, there's a lot of value that we are getting with this being a virtual organization. We are very well connected, very close. We're constantly in touch, but ICMCI also tries to bring people together in person. Pre-COVID, we're hoping that this will change very soon. ICMCI organizes its annual conference in a different country each year, and countries or national consulting institutes bid to host the national conference, the annual conference every year. So that has taken us to very interesting countries around the world where we got to meet in person and again share developments in the profession. We're hoping that post-COVID we will go back to doing that.
So thank you, Tamara. So looking at the CMC profession, so first and foremost, the CMC designation is legally recognized. So it's a legally recognized designation, much like the CPA or the CMA or the PMP would be. And behind that, the way that the designation is supported is through a body of knowledge. And that is updated and refreshed. And I believe in October, is there a new competency framework that's coming out? So as business conditions change, as markets change, we update and the body of knowledge, and that is what a CMC must support and abide by. And part of that body of knowledge is a series of processes and methods of practice for a consultant. For one to be deemed a certified management consultant. There's also the requirement of maintaining skills and knowledge in one's particular area. There is a recertification process every 3 years once one is certified, and during that period, the candidate must demonstrate that they continue to be committed to the profession, to their expertise, their area of expertise, and also to the standards of ethics and excellence. And so there is a code of ethics. Next one. There you go. There is a code of ethics that we abide by, and their ethics, their standards that have to do with how we represent ourselves to potential clients, how we conduct ourselves in a business organization, in an environment, the type of work that we engage in, and the level of credibility that we carry with us as certified management consultants representing the profession. And then finally, as Tamara said, CMC is recognized in almost 50 countries where there are established institutes. And for those of you who are in Egypt, where there is no institute yet, that is the opportunity for you to engage with us virtually in the Global Institute. And again, with the hope that with our partnership with AB and Associates, that there will be an IMC established in the not too distant future in Egypt. And so that's a quick overview of what the certification is, and really the path to becoming certified is first of all to affiliate yourself with an IMC. So if you are in Egypt, then it would be with the Global Institute. If you are in another country, and if there's an institute there, you would affiliate yourself with them. So that means joining the organization, identifying yourself, and then from there, determining what your qualifications currently are, and whether or not they meet the minimum qualifications for certification. In order to do that, we provide coaching and mentoring to help you to figure this out, to determine, do I have enough experience? Do I have enough of the right experience? We ask for candidates to describe at least 3 different consulting engagements and summarize them and present them to an assessment board. So perhaps you don't have 3 engagement summaries, but you may have one or two. And this is where not only will the CMCI Global Institute support you in developing those, but in partnership with A&B Associates in Egypt, they would be working with you to help to develop that as well. And so there's a very clear path. You would determine where are you on that path to certification, and you would get support along the way. And as I mentioned, that is one path. We do have members who have joined who have not yet determined when or whether they will pursue the designation, and it is not a prerequisite to joining the Global Institute. So at this point, we're going to pause, and I think what we will do is, let's see, everybody's on mute, and everybody's got their cameras off. So what I'd like to ask is for each participant on the call to just take a moment and think about how you'd like to introduce yourself to your colleagues here. So this would be your elevator pitch, as it were, and also think about sharing one thing that you would need to either achieve or to sustain success in your consulting practice. And I think I'm going to ask everyone to, when you're ready and you have your introduction set in your mind, if you could just raise your hand, and then I will call on those who have raised their hand. And in order to raise your hand, so if you, okay, we see it, all right. Let's see, Hossam, Tawfiq.
Hi, Pam. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes,
Hello.
yes, we can hear you.
Yes. My name is Hossam Tawfiq. I'm working for one of the telecom operators in Egypt. I'm also work as a part-time lecturer in the American University in Cairo and Arab Academy for Fashion Technology. I'm specialized in the field of procurement and contract management. I'm the first Egyptian to receive the fellowship of Chartered Procurement and Supply in Egypt. This is for the short introduction. For the other question about success in consulting practice, I think more engagement will give us more diversified experience, and in order to implement what we equip ourselves from tools and methodology. So for this question, I think more engagement will be the key success.
Okay, so more engagement to expand your network. Is that, you were breaking up a little bit there, Hossam?
Yes, exactly. Especially because
okay.
I'm specialized in procurement and contract, and in Egypt and North Africa, the procurement engagement is make a project to work with World Bank or something. We almost have nothing from procurement and contract engagements.
Okay, so there's quite an opportunity for networking, right? Within the country or within the region. So, and you're on the procurement side, it sounds like. Is that right?
Sorry, the connection was very poor.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so I think the framing of engagement, and you mentioned something about the World Bank.
Sorry, because my connection is very poor because I'm on highway.
Okay.
I'm always with you that in our country, the engagement, consulting engagement regarding procurement is almost seldom or very, very, very minor, unless we have some mega projects with one of the big donors like GIZ or World Bank. We almost have no procurement engagement in a wide scale.
Ah, got it. Okay. So a lot of this has to do with visibility as well. So increasing the profile, your consulting profile through an alliance with a larger organization. We've heard that from a lot of our members. So thank you for that, Hussam. Thank you. Let's see, Christine, did you have your hand up, Christine Georges? My audio keeps going out too. Okay, I'm looking for raised hands. And by the way, I assumed that everybody was familiar. If not, you can go ahead and raise your hand by hovering over your name and clicking on more, and click on raise hand. So Moatas, you have your hand up? Thank you.
I hope you're focusing on the driving, Moataz.
Yeah, trying to. We are trying to. Actually, we are both. Mu'taz and me are driving right now. So my name is Mu'min. I'm a lead consultant for Brinology. It's one of the fast-growing consulting firms that operates here in Egypt, and we have started the journey actually with Mr. Ahmed Badr. Through a program that was conducted here in Egypt under the IMC, and we get approved to CMC. So we are currently working on the structuring and HR consulting projects, and our aim for joining the CMC is to get the research-based practices and some practical experience from other industries and other consultants who are going to be with us in the program. So this is right here.
Excellent, Mo, and you sound like you went in a tunnel, but I think we heard a good amount of what you said, and just a comment in terms of you said working on HR projects and looking at research-based approaches from others. That's certainly one of the benefits of being a member in GI is being able to integrate and share best practices. Really, we have one of our members and actually the head of ICMCI, who is Dwight Mahaliks. Dwight is he's one of the trainers whose expertise is in ISO 2700, and that is a designation for consulting services. So it's the first time that services have been part of the ISO standards. So you have a lot of expertise within the membership and also within the leadership of CMC Global Institute. So thank you for sharing that. I'd like to go next to Sahar. And I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Sahar?
Yeah, it's right. Sahar, can you hear me?
Yes, thank
Hello?
you. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Industrial Modernization Center.
Sahar, we lost you there for a second, so maybe if you can restart.
Okay, I'm working in the Industrial Modernization Center It's IMC certified man from the CMC. However, I got my certificate from the offices in London, or the institute from London. Actually, I have maybe I participated in putting in place the preparation program for. We were hoping to have them at the institute. However, and he got the track right. Anyway, Anna, I want to renew my certificate. Number two, I want to know this be happening in because when we were doing the program itself, the whole program, it was for 6 months. The objective of this is to prepare those people for the certificate. So we want to know we are doing things right, or we are back, or we need extra effort to be done through the IMC. Thank you.
So a few of you were commenting that we were having a hard time hearing Sahar, but what she said was music to my ears. She said she wanted to do her certification, and she wants to see if the track that they've built in preparation for certification is the right one, or can be improved. So I love this, Sahar, and I'll be reaching out so we can talk more about that.
And again, just to reinforce that some of you may have taken other trainings or have other experience, and that would be factored in when that would be considered when we meet with you and talk about your path. So let's go on next to Medhat. Can you hear me?
Medhat, you're on mute.
Dinah asks whether there will be a physical meeting. There will likely be a physical meeting in Egypt through our ambassador, our ambassadors at AB and Associates. I don't believe that has been planned yet. But just to confirm that the Global Institute is a virtual institute.
Yes, I can hear very well. I'm very, very sorry.
Tamara, who was that?
I can't tell, to be honest.
It doesn't look like it was anybody.
We have a very poor connection.
Yes. Okay, so Medhat, did we lose him?
We have
okay.
Ahmed raised.
Yes, Ahmed, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Ahmed Mukhtar. About my background, this is my 14th year in the HR field. I played the consultant role mainly internally with the company I worked for, FMCG, retail, healthcare. But before 2 years, I joined the certification program with the IMC, just Sahar mentioned. And it was an eye-opener for me. This is my next stage in my career. So I got attached to this career, and I want to build my accreditation in. just to jump from a general HR employee to HR and business consultant with accreditation from the Global Institute.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, Ahmed. I appreciate that. And I imagine that there are probably others here on the call that are at a similar place in their careers who are looking for the same kinds of next steps. So thank you for sharing that. Let's see, in chat we have a couple of comments, and folks, if your connection is bad, please feel free just to enter your information in chat, and I'll share it with the rest of the audience. And yes, Ramzi, modern technology will always let you down, but Rami passes along his introduction and says hello. And let's move on next to Noha. Noha, how are you today?
Fine, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Hearing me well?
We can hear you, yes.
Perfect. My name is Noha Balki. I'm a consultant in sustainability. I'm a sustainable consultant. My background is engineering. I'm a chemical engineer, and I have a master in sustainable development. I joined from 2 years a course or training in business development and business modeling. And then I joined the IMC program, and really it inspired me so much because I was only focusing in sustainable development achievements and how just to make the company is related to sustainability and so on. But also when I go into the business, and it opens a new era for me to also work as consultant for the same as the sustainability also in business. So I liked, and I would like to have the certificate.
Noha, your last sentence just dropped out.
I'm interested in the certificate. It will enhance my my ability to work in different sectors, in the same companies or something for business and sustainability as well.
Excellent, thank you. So you see that there are a number of different industries and functional areas, even on this call, that are represented. So I'm glad to hear from everyone. Rami, if your technology is working, welcome. Would you like to say a few words?
I hope my technology is working. Kindly confirm it. Can you hear my voice properly?
Yes, we can.
Okay, this is Rami Ibrahim. I'm certified from HRCI, SPHRI. I'm currently working as their ambassador in the Middle East, ambassador for the HRCI. I delivered many courses and many certification in the field of HR. Nowadays, I'm looking for the certificate from CMC because I want to improve my consulting experience. I'm looking forward that it will be possible for me to open many markets, not only the Egyptian one, but might also the international market due to having such an international reputable certificate in the consultation. Of course, me and my colleagues are looking forward to know what is the path to get this certificate, what is the cost, what is the process, what is the roadmap. I would like to know the roadmap detail. This is my question for the time being. And thanks for letting me introduce myself.
Thank you, Rami. So to elaborate a bit on the certification process, it starts with each one of you becoming a member at the Global Institute. I would be happy to share with you the link to the membership application together with today's session recording. Once you become a member, then this is how you start the process, or you start on the path of certification. You need to submit certain documentation that explains your background, your track record, the level of experience that you have. And these include declaration of experience, your so your university degrees, And more importantly is your engagement summary. So basically a description of some of your consulting projects that you worked on, client projects, the methodology that you used during those projects, the outputs that you submitted to the customer, the feedback from the customer, what went well, what went wrong, etc. And at the start of this process, we usually assign a mentor or a coach for you who would guide you through that process so that you're submitting your documents in the most efficient manner. Once the paperwork is complete, it is reviewed by our certification chair. And if everything is ready, then you move on to an oral assessment where you sit in front of a panel of 2 CMCs who ask you for information or test your knowledge of the CMC competency framework. Now, before that, we ask you to submit an open book exam on ethics. We have online courses if you want to take one instead of the open book exam. Once you are ready to sit for the interview with the assessment committee, this is a 1 hour to 2 hours exercise. These are practitioners from around the world who are very knowledgeable of our competency framework and would ask you about your knowledge of the framework. If you pass that interview, then you're automatically a CMC, and we will be sharing news around that on our social media platforms. You will receiving a certificate and a pin that you can use to show people that you're a CMC. You start using the CMC designation as part of your title or after your name. So it's a relatively short process if your paperwork is ready, and that's why we try to make it as efficient as possible through the mentors and coaches. Again, we have a lot of write-ups on the process, and if you guys have any question, we would be happy to answer those.
Thanks for the clarification, Tamara. You made it clear too much. Thank you, my dear.
Great. And one of the comments that Rami made around wanting to expand internationally, with the CMC designation, there is an understood level of accomplishment and credibility that goes along with the certification. And so the ability for you to reach out to consultants in other parts of the world is made a lot easier as you are part of the same profession with the same designation. So market expansion is certainly one of the motivations for our members. Dinah, you've been patiently raising your hand. Is there something to add, or you could tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Dinah Yaout. I'm the chairman of the Business Women Committee in the Federation of the Egyptian Chambers of Commerce. And I already attended this precious course that we attended with Mr. Ahmed Badr, AB Associates at the IMC as well. And I thought that would be a privilege or some sort of facilitating steps towards getting the designation of the CMC. One of my questions is, would you be able to design a platform that would gather professionals from all sides in order to have some sort of exchange of insights to the experts working in the different fields of consultancy, like sharing experience and ideas and the trends, what is going on. The crisis of COVID have laid some sort of challenges, and the way we are doing business are quite changing or shifting towards other trends. The other things is, I wanted to say, you answered that before I even said it, teaming up with other experts in fields for market expansion or for other visibility in regards of the consultancy. My third point is there a way that we can make sure that the processes we are doing in the consultancy field and working in the strategy and marketing, is there a way to make sure that the process we are doing it is done in a standard way, or we are fulfilling what is supposed to be done? I have been studying marketing, leadership, and management according to the English and American way. And I want to make it right, how it is supposed to be done right in Egypt as well. So these are my main points of questions, and I hope that it wasn't too much of a list. Thank you.
Tamara, I think you're smiling and I'm smiling. Do you have a comment first, or?
I can start with the database and the access to other CMCs. I alluded to that briefly in my slides. So what ICMCI has put together is a repository for certified management consultants, for CMCs to join, list their areas of expertise, geographies they work in, etc., so that we can access this as CMCs and identify management consultants who are experts in certain fields or certain topics. So once you all become CMCs, you will be invited to join this database or this repository. And I think this is an excellent repository or service that ICMCI offers. I often refer to it when I'm looking for a consultant in a certain expertise. And the fact that they are all CMCs gives me the assurance that these are ethical people, professional, and would be almost like-minded. So I feel that that's one of the big advantages of becoming a CMC. Pamela?
Yes, and I think to your other 2 points there, Dinah, the one about sharing best practices or looking at what are the current trends. One of the I think one of the opportunities for the program in Egypt is to have a coordinated platform where individual consultants can come together and to share what they're seeing and to share best practices. So I think, in the country with our ambassador representative with AB and Associates, that's one opportunity to do that. And then we also have different sessions. We try to do them every single month. We have a professional development program where we bring topics of interest to the membership and we hold webinars. And so if there were interest, for example, in talking about what are some of the sales process trends that you are seeing now after COVID, we would have that be a topic of a webinar. We would pull together the appropriate representatives, maybe somebody from academia who's doing research, maybe a consultant from Egypt, maybe someone from the US, and we could have a panel discussion or an informal conversation. So these are just some examples of the types of programs that that we would coordinate for our members. And when Tamara mentioned the committees, so that would be the Professional Development Committee would coordinate that, and then the Marketing Committee that I'm responsible for would be involved as well. So, and then finally, your comment about strategy and process in the American or British way, again, I think that all falls into the same scope of looking at different functional areas or different areas of expertise or business practice, and having conversation around it and looking at where there may be opportunities to collaborate more completely. So thank you for that.
Thanks to you. Thank you.
Anybody else? I know we're coming up on the hour, so I want to be mindful of everyone's time. I don't see any other hands raised. Let's see. So I just have a few more comments. We did have a couple of questions about membership. So I just wanted to talk about the different categories of membership. I can't scroll. I'm trying to advance the slides. So there are 5 different types. The first is for students. I don't think anyone on the call is a student. but students in university or 1 year out of university can apply for membership. An affiliate member is usually someone who it's usually a client or someone that uses consulting services and wants to be affiliated with the management consulting community. The third type is a member, and so that would be probably a member or a certified member would be more appropriate for the people who are on this call. So any management consultant who is not yet a certified consultant would be determined or designated as a member. Then there's a certified member, so once you've achieved the certification. And then finally, a fellow member, those are individuals who have been in the industry and affiliated with ICMCI or one of the institutes over a period of time. So those are the 5 different designations. And then the next slide, just to give you a sense of the membership fees. These are annual fees. They're prorated depending on the year that you join. And what we have done is we have stratified the fee structure based on the World Bank purchasing power parity gross national income per capita. And so I believe Egypt is level 3, category 3. So student membership is 120 euros per year. Affiliate member 225, member is 300, and certified member is 400 euros per year. So that gives you an idea of the commitment and the investment. And so in terms of next steps, I see a lot of folks asking, what do we do next? One step could be, if you do have any additional questions, feel free to send us an email. We will be following up and sending out the recording, as well as some membership information and links to the applications. So you'd want to then complete the application for membership, and then you'll be put on our mailing list, and you can attend some of our ongoing learning sessions that I think we have a number of them planned over the coming weeks and months. Please also follow us on Twitter. You can connect with us on LinkedIn. We do have a private LinkedIn group for GI members only, and you can look for us on Instagram as well. And before we close out, I see that Ahmed, you have your hand up. Did you have a question?
Yes, first of all, thanks for the flow you took us through. But can we exploit the presence of Sahar here as a representative for IMC, just to be the incubator for the journey for who already finished the track for IMC for certified management consultant? Can we?
This is a question for me.
I just drop it in the middle. Yani anyone can pick it.
I have a meeting. I will have a meeting with Mr. Badr to discuss the whole issue from the beginning, and we will try to do our best to make things happen again. Maybe there were some obstacles concerning the COVID and the restrictions and that stuff. However, we will have a meeting very soon to see where we can start again or to continue our journey.
I think that's the best approach, because like I said, Ahmed is our ambassador for Egypt, and he's best suited to discuss with Sahar how to make that happen. We want, as the Global Institute, we want whatever is practical for you guys in Egypt, and we want to help your certification journey. I know that you've had a lot of support through IMC and through AB Associates, and this is the time to build on that support in order for us to get
Inshallah.
practicing.
Thank you.
Wonderful. I shared with you my email and in the chat, and I know that I've received details from a few of you, so I'm very happy about that. I'll be waiting to hear from the rest of you. As a next step, we will be sharing with you the recording of today's session and more information about the application process. I would like to thank you again for joining us today. This was a real pleasure meeting you all, and I really look forward to staying in touch and hopefully welcome you soon as members and CMCs at the Global Institute. So have a wonderful evening, everyone, and stay safe.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.